Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live plan with me. Today is the 15th, and we're going to be planning the week of Monday, January 16th through Sunday, January 22nd in my Moxie Life planner. Make sure if you're here on the live stream that you can hear me okay. Let me know. And if you're here on the replay, just say hi in the comments. Let me know that you're here. I'm opening up a squirt because that's what I'm going to drink. I'm going to have a refreshing grapefruit beverage. Isn't that refreshing? So I'm already starting to notice a little bit of a bump. So I think that this is going to be a perfect week to mix it up. And I am going to be using the stuff that came in the first day of the Lunar Advent Calendar from Wonton in a Million. They sent this to me. They wanted me to give my opinions on how I felt about the education aspect of this, among other things. And so I decided to go for it. It's not sponsored. They did not ask me to do anything with it, but I just thought, especially since a lot of these stickers are washi paper, they're very thin. I think that this could be a good week to help alleviate some of the bump I'm already creating. Oh, good. You can hear me okay? Perfect. All right. So it's wonderful to see everybody in the comments. I grabbed a couple of matching mild liner dot pen. I've got the washi tape that also came. I'm going to have to add these to my total of washi tape, but I want to get to the end of the advent calendar and see if there's any more washi tape in there. So yeah. Anyway. So it's good to see everybody. I am glad that you're here. So, like I said in the title, this is pretty much an intense week for me. We just got through our first week of dialysis training, and I am going to do a video at the end of the month. Hold on, let me grab my whiteout. I'm going to at the end of the month, I just spaced out completely. I'm a fucking space cadet today. I will be doing a video answering questions about dialysis and everything else because I've gotten a lot of them. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you have anything you want to know, I can talk about it today. But I want to talk a little bit about our experience and how we're feeling about it because I am in a pretty good place about it. So yeah, those of you out on hi Lisa Marie, those of you out on the West Coast, California specifically, are getting hammered with those storms right now. Like I know people are like, oh, but drought, they could use the water. The problem you run into is when you have a drought, like an area that has been droughty for so long, the ground doesn't soak the water up the way that you want it to. And so it can actually be really dangerous. I remember this from rainy seasons like this when I was living in California. So okay, so these are very delicate. Very, very delicate. So I just got to be careful with them. Now I'm planning on maybe using some of these in my work planner as well. Although this last week, I'll show you. Like when hi Trish. This last week. So before that, I was kind of working on days like this, doing like at least a little bit more. But then this last week, I basically just did like one page, which is fine because I kept myself from overdoing it, which was a big deal for me. Yeah, also the plants have died, so there are no roots to hold the soil in place. Yeah, and it means that like trees and plants that have already been fucked up because of the drought, you're going to have a lot of like falling branches and like trees falling over because they're all dried out. So it's a very dangerous situation. Like, yay, rain, but dangerous rain. Are these crooked? I don't want to peel them back up because I don't want to have to peel these because these are so delicate and I'm putting them on top of whiteout. So I need to place them either right the first time or be happy with them regardless because I just don't want to have a hot minute. So yeah. So my week has been eventful as it were. Let's grab some of these numbers. Your family's all celebrating Lunar New Year together and you're alone on the East Coast for grad school. Well, I'm so sorry, Kat, that that's what you're going through right now. Hopefully this will give you at least, like, we'll have all of us here in the comments to keep you company. So yeah, dialysis went better than I expected. Not that I expected it would go bad, but I was terrified that it was going to be like utterly scary and awful, and it wasn't. So there is that. I really, really, really like our care team. Our care team is great. I made a "that's what she said" joke to the nurse who was putting the needle in, cannulating me. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I made it before I even stopped to think about it. And I was like, oh, shit. And she thought it was funny. So, you know, I thinks I don't hate that. All right, what I think I'm going to do. This is so cute. I want to use this washi tape, but I'm not really sure how I want to use this washi tape. Okay, so in the meantime, what are we going to do? I don't want to do it exactly the same. I kind of want to create my to-do list along the top. Let me see here. Wait, I know one of these has some like washi. Here we go. This one. We'll use this guy here. The texture of this washi paper is delightful to me right now. Like there's something about like its lightly textured surface that just feels delightful is the best word I've got for you. Like it's making me really happy to like run my finger on it, and I find that highly interesting. Your elementary school got shut down. I'm so sorry. What does dialysis do? That is a good question. Dialysis week starts on the 16th. Shit! Thank you for letting me know. Shit fire. $16, $17, $18, $19. Okay. Okay, so let's get these dates in, and then so I could just move them. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, dialysis filters your blood. It both filters toxins out of your blood and it removes fluid. You can use it to remove fluid, which was something I knew was a thing, but I didn't really realize just how helpful that thing would be. They actually so one of the things that Jess has learned so far is how to make like the calculations so that at the end of dialysis, my blood pressure is really good. Like they're going to pull off X amount of fluid, but if that makes my blood pressure too low, then they need to add some fluid back. But if they take X amount of fluid and it's still high, they can take some more fluid. And then when you add the blood back, which is its own amount of fluid, then that makes it's a lot of math. And Jess is like super into all the math. I am like not so into the math, but yeah, it's a lot of math. And so they've already taken me off of one of my blood pressure medications, which is great. They've already taken me off of one of my blood pressure medications. They have already reduced another one of my medications. And 20, 21. Okay. Is that right? Are we right here? Let's see. Let's look at the calendar. 21, 22. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Andrea, having a doctor who both takes you seriously but also laughs at your jokes. So far, but my team is amazing, and I'm very happy with them. That is not the right day. Shit. Okay. Fuck. I am just all over the place with my dates this week. Okay, so we got those in. Let's get the rest of these dates in. The correct dates. I don't know why I was so insistent that the week was the 19th. The 19th, though, is actually January 19th is my parents' wedding anniversary. It's real easy for me to remember what how many years my parents would have been married if they were still alive, because I was born 2 weeks after they got married. So all I have to do is think about how old I'm going to turn in a couple weeks. So my parents would have, this blows my mind, they would have been married for 43 years if they had still lived. So they had been married for 21 years when they died, when my dad died. Not when they died. They didn't die at the same time. There we go. Your birthday's the 17th, you and Ben Franklin. Well, I hope you don't have gout like Ben Franklin and I. Anyway, so dialysis went well. And I have some energy back. Not a ton of energy. Some of it is like, well, we have to wake up at the butt crack of dawn. Like, well, not the butt crack of dawn, but like 6:30, 6:15, because we have to, our schedule is that we have to get up. We have to be ready to leave by 7:20, because that gives us time to drop Layla off at daycare and still get parked. The parking situation, I know some of you actually live in the Denver metro and are familiar with the Anschutz big medical campus. It's a big medical campus. It is like literally a campus, because they have, they also do, the college is there. So it's like a teaching campus, but it has the inpatient and outpatient centers for UC Health, which is where I go to for both my transplant stuff and like all my doctor stuff. I go through there. They also have Children's Hospital and the VA are all on this gigantic medical campus, as well as the medical school for the university. So it's big. And the parking situation has been a fucking nightmare, because they are building one of the lots is closed because they're building a new parking garage, which I'm very excited for, because they hella need it. But so I think what's going on here, I'm going to zoom you in. Yeah, this is the Moxie Life Planner. So we have to get there early enough to park and then get up there to be in our appointment by 8. So I'm looking at these. It looks like each of these has like some characters on it. And I'm assuming that these little phrases right here are the translations of those characters. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put one up here for my to-do list and then one over this area for my habits. So for the habits, we'll put the Happy New Year up here, and we'll put wishing you good health over the habits section, I think. Yeah, the new parking. It just removes. And so if we getting there at 8, it's easier to find parking than it is getting there at like, say, 1, right? So that's okay. But there's still a level of having to find parking. And so because of that, we have to leave early enough. So RJ's walking to school currently, but we can't, it's not just that. So we have to get up, get ourselves ready. We have to get Layla ready to go to daycare, and we have to give Odin his IGU. So for those of you who don't know, my youngest pet, the youngest lad in this house, oh man, is he was a hoarder kitty. He was actually, the rescue found him amongst a big group of about 80 cats at this hoarder house who had like been hoarding pets, among other things. And he had a very severe eye infection, almost lost his eye. Did not lose his eye, but because of that, he is very prone to eye goo, eye infection, etc. And he also has like the kitty herp, which apparently is extremely common in cats from hoarder situations because, you know, they're just all over each other. So if one of them has it, they'll all wind up getting it. And his eyes were at the point where they were starting to be extra weepy and a little extra red. And it was painful for him. So we had to give him, basically have eye glue for him to give him when he is having a hard time of it. So we have to do that in the morning and get all the stuff together in the morning, as well as making sure that, you know, everybody's ready to go. So yeah. And I don't like waking up at that time. It doesn't make me happy. I'm going to see if I can move this over just a skosh. At least these peel up easily. I just don't want it to rip. There we go. No, whatever. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Does he have to have it for his entire... I don't know. We don't know yet. Maybe. He's probably going to have eye issues off and on for the rest of his life. But he still has both of his eyes. So that in and of itself is a good thing. We do have a recommendation for a specialist, like a cat ophthalmologist, which I did not even realize was a thing. It makes sense it's a thing, but I didn't even think it would be a thing. So, yeah. But we haven't gone to see them yet because it hasn't really been necessary. All right. I'm going to use my Unipin 03 pigment pen. How long am I hooked to the dialysis machine all day? It's varying right now because of I'm on the skinnier needles, and so they can't run the treatment as fast as it would run when I'm on the bigger needle, but I'm on the medium needle now, and I did my first full treatment on Friday. They had been only doing me for a part treatment because we didn't want to be there all day. So, yeah, there will be, but the eventuality is that I will be hooked up for about 2.5 hours a day once I get to like the full treatment. And it changes based on how my blood pressure is going and how much fluid they have to take off. But and so it takes, even if let's say it all goes according to plan, I'm on the machine for 2.5 hours. That doesn't count the time it takes to get set up and to get off of the machine. I would say about half an hour to get set up and maybe another 20 minutes to half an hour when I'm done. So that would mean 3.5 hours on like the fastest running day possible will be for dialysis currently, based on my current prescription. Just put my habits in. Ooh, thank you for the super chat. Your boys, Lord Byron and Edgar Allan. Those are amazing cat names, by the way. And he has the herp too. Yeah, it's you know, kitty herp. Whatever, it happens. Jamie asked, are you feeling better energy-wise? Yes. Now, I'm not feeling entire, like I don't feel, I feel, okay, how do I explain this? A lot of you, I know, I tend to have a lot of you in my audience who have your own chronic pain and chronic health problems. Now, I know this also can come with like depression and some other mental health problems as well, but that's not something I have as much experience with. but when it comes to my physical health and my physical well-being, I can't even begin to like really wrap my mind around how much better I'm feeling, or how, like, am I feeling awesomely better? I don't know, because it's so different than how I was feeling even a week ago. And so I feel good. That is a big piece of it. I am feeling there has been improvement. So I'm going to go with that. But like I said, I don't really have a lot of reference anymore. Like, that's too big. My frame of reference for how I am feeling is so whack because of, feeling like crap for so long. So I honestly couldn't tell you how much better I'm feeling, but I am feeling better. And I think the big piece that really blew my mind was that I'm starting to feel hungry again. And considering I have actually lost weight because of how poor my appetite has been, that's a really big deal. Like, that's me where my kids were like, holy shit. So yeah. Dee asked if my fistula is doing well. My fistula is doing great. They love my fistula. They actually were talking about my fistula like in their meeting about how good it is. Because normally when they get someone in, someone has just a brand new fistula that they've gotten and have like, you get it and then you have to mature it for X number of time. I don't remember how long. It's like a couple months before it's usable. It's like exercise it. But I've had mine fully, like mine was finished and like healthy mid 2020. So I have been like, it has been just like maturing since then. So they were very impressed with my amazing fistula, which I will tell you makes me very happy. I fucking love how much my fistula is like making everybody smile. So there is that. Maud says every day. So my prescription is for 5 days a week. And what they're going to want, we're going to get to set our own schedule, which is part of why I wanted to do dialysis at home in the first place. But what they request is that I don't, I'm just pulling the weather up. I don't skip more than 1 day at a time. So like 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, that sort of situation. But we don't really know yet what our schedule is going to look like, because we are still not quite sure exactly what it's going to look like. Like, we haven't done the full needle yet. We only just did the first full treatment. Jesse still needs some walking through when it comes to setting up. So, and then we haven't been taught how to actually do the needles yet. So we don't really know what it's going to look like when we do it in terms of how much time it is. We're going to have to schedule it around Jesse's work. My work, I do it myself. So I write my own schedule, so I can adapt my work schedule to the dialysis. But with Jesse's work, it's going to take a little bit of finagling. And so once we have an idea of what it's going to look like, then we'll be able to start thinking about when it's going to be ideal to start doing it. But we can do it whenever we want to. Andrea asks, what type of activities are you planning for yourself while hooked up? Well, currently, all I have been doing is playing Candy Crush and reading the Prince Harry book, which I have now finished. But we're going to have a TV in there so I can watch TV. I'm going to be one-handed, and I'm not going to be able to move my arm with the dialysis access in it hardly at all. So I will likely be doing a lot of reading, a lot of resting. I will probably do some answering emails and some other administrative stuff when I get the hang of typing one-handed. Stuff like that for now. My sister did a lot of adult coloring. Jamie, you just put you guys are all, thank you so much for telling me I sound like I feel better. What I explained to my therapist on Friday was that I feel like I have energy, but I don't really know how to handle it. The way I described it was feeling jittery, like mentally, not jittery physically. Physically, I've been pretty exhausted still. And a lot of it is because I think it's just a lot to take in. And mentally, I've actually been pretty exhausted because it is a lot. I brought home the big manuals this weekend, and I'm going to be spending some time with them because we don't go back until Tuesday. But mentally, it's like I have energy, but I don't really know how to process it. So it's been very strange, almost like being mentally over-caffeinated, if that makes sense. You know, Emily, I don't know if it's like I have a little bit more spoons because I don't really feel like I do. Like I'm very, very much in that space of it's so easy for me to overdo it right now. So honestly, I have no idea. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, where'd that scallopy, this one. I'm going to use this one to divide off a to-do list at the top of the page. There we go. What food restrictions am I having? Currently, not too much because we're still kind of easing our way into it and doing like the blood works and stuff. And we just did my first labs. Jesse pulled them or learned how to pull them because he's going to be pulling my labs for me. And I'm waiting to hear back from the transplant center. I'm really hoping that we can pull the labs for the transplant. I have to do labs every month for the transplant center, and we have to pull the labs at home for dialysis and send them in so that when we go in for the clinic visits every month, they have my fresh labs. So I'm hoping that the transplant center will also be able to let me pull labs at home. I can't see. Hold on. I'm pulling this closer to me because I can't figure out where the fuck. Is it here? Is that the right one? Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so they haven't made any restrictions yet. I will have to start restricting my fluid. Currently, my potassium is still very low. It had even dropped down some. So they're going to have me, they want to be able to take me off of potassium medication and just control it with the dialysis. Fuck, this is too shreddy. Diddly-loo, shredder. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That's what we want there. Okay. But currently I don't have any restrictions. We will see what happens once I've been on it for a little while. I'll have to start restricting my fluid and my salt because they're going to be removing, as I start to pee less, they're going to have to, all the fluid to get out of my body is going to have to be removed via dialysis. So the more fluid I retain, the longer I'm going to have to be on dialysis to remove it off. And it's harder on my body. So one way to prevent that is to not drink as much. Allison, that's exactly it. I had a lot of uncertainty, and seeing that it went better than I expected took a big load off of my mind. So my fistula is like a fine wine, Mackenzie. Yes, it has aged. It has aged like a bottle of expensive Camus from the Napa Valley. Slime Guy, thank you for the suggestion for our vet. Do I think I'll be able to work on dialysis while I need to watch TV or read? I think I'll be able to do some emails and stuff while I'm on it. I won't be able to video edit. It'll be just too... I can't imagine I'll ever be to a place where I can edit videos one-handed. I think it would be an exercise in pissing myself off if I tried to do that. So, So yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But I do think that doing emails and shit like that will probably be helpful. Now I have not meal planned yet because I'm going to be doing that with Sunny and Jesse tonight. So that's going to go in here later. So we're going to start with Monday. Monday is an off day. No school, no dialysis, no nothing. Nothing. So I'm going to use one of these. Maybe we'll use this guy here. And this guy. This little dude. I think he's like a little dumpling, but to me he looks like a little garlic. I love garlic. There we go. And where is my permanent pen? There it is. Thoughts on the book. Okay, give me 1 second. So the Prince Harry book. I enjoyed it as a read. I will say that the whole section in the middle about the military, I tuned out of. Like, I found it excruciating to get through because I just could not bring myself to give a shit about military training. I wasn't feeling it. Now I didn't skim it because I also knew that I would come across parts of it that I wanted to read, but a lot of the military section I just could not care about. So there was that. Overall, I found it to be a very fascinating read, both for like the tea, the royal family gossip, but also as kind of like a window into the lives of these people who have no idea how regular people live. Like no idea how regular people live. It made me feel sorry for the royal family in the sense of the fishbowl that they live in, while at the same time wanting to slap all of them. It was a very strange feeling. I recommend it. I've heard it's really good if you listen to the Audible version because he reads it himself, but I just read it on my phone. I had it on my Kindle app because I forgot to bring my Kindle with me. So yeah, it was pretty intense, let's just say. So I want to do lunch with Sunny on Monday because we were supposed to do it this week and it just didn't happen. And we're also going to go grocery shopping. So we use one of these little guys. I'm just going through the comments here. Oh, I hella want to watch Renfield. I did watch that trailer. The Renfield trailer is fucking outstanding. Like, give me Nicolas Cage, give me Nicholas Hoult in a vampire movie. Fuck yes. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. If I need to work one-handed with speech to text help, maybe. Jessica asks, what does dialysis feel like? It actually doesn't feel like very much at all. Like the needle hurts, but it doesn't really feel like very much. Every once in a while, I'll feel like a little like twinge in my fistula, but generally speaking, it doesn't really feel like anything. So that's cool, at least. Is this the Lunar New Year kit? Yes. Legends and lattes, I'll write that down. For labs, if they want different tubes than you have at home, or if blood needs special. Yeah, it's just, and I'm not sure exactly. I know that with the San Francisco Transplant Center, what they did is because I was too far to go in and get it done at their lab, so I would do it at Kaiser. And what they would do is send me to my lab, but they would mail me a package that had like the styrofoam mailer with the tubes in it, and then they would draw it and send it off. And so, I'm just curious to see how it would work. Okay, so I'm going to put some items up here too. I need to check in for that following day's appointment. And that's all I've got on here for now. I'm going to go with this nice dark pink from like the other pinks. And then I'm going to use the red mild liner to mild line things that are related to my goals. Any contenders for the machine's name? So I got so many good suggestions from you guys over on Instagram, but the one that really got me was deciding if I want to use one of these for dialysis and Layla at daycare. The one that really got me, RJ actually suggested. He suggested Conky from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like if those of you who watched Pee-wee's Playhouse will remember, the Conky was the robot who would spit out the word of the day, and if you hear it, you scream. And then, so I thought that was a great idea. And then Sunny suggested that if we name the dialysis machine Conky, then we should name the new recliner Cherry, like his chair in Pee-wee's Playhouse. So, yeah, that was the suggestion, and I am pretty sure that I love those suggestions, especially if the idea of decorating the dialysis space to look like Pee-wee's Playhouse, because I fucking love the shit. My sisters and I wrote letters to NBC when they canceled it because of his masturbating controversy. We were like, why is what Paul Rubens does going to be a problem for what Pee-wee Herman does? We were pissed. It's fucking masturbating in a fucking porn theater. That's what porn theaters are for. How is that a problem? Anyway, so yeah, Cherry. But there's some other really good recommendations. The other thing is that technically it's two machines. There's the dialysis machine, and then underneath it is the PureFlow, which is the thing that makes the dialysis solution when I'm at home. Oh my God, what was the worst pun? I'm scrolling back up. Information on how to train. Okay, that's funny. My sister suggested Carl, after Carl the janitor on The Breakfast Club, because it's my blood janitor. Like, he cleans my blood. He's my blood cleaner. And gain a career in the custodial arts. So I just don't know. Jessica asked, will you be able to travel at all on dialysis, or are you limited to home? No, I can travel. The machine itself, actually what we've been doing all week is doing the travel form of it using the pre-made dialysis bags of solution. And so I can either travel with the machine and take the bags with me, or if I'm going to be there for a longer period of time, I can get scheduled at a dialysis clinic where I'm going. I don't feel confident traveling anytime in the near future because it's a lot to figure out, but it is possible. Yes, the stickers in this kit are like washi. So what exactly happens during the dialysis process? So the first thing that they do, excuse me, I've got the burps. The first thing that they do is figure out how they're going to write dialysis on this. Okay. Six, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm just curious. We have a 11-day daycare pass before we have to buy our next one. It won't be up this week. Anyway, so the first thing that they do, you come in, you get the machine set up, and either you hang the water bags on it, or if you use the water that the machine makes, it actually, you have to make it the day before because it takes like 6 hours to make it. And then you hook all the tubes and everything up. Then once everything's all set, actually getting the machine going, there's a whole cassette that has like most of the shit on it, like the filter and the piping and everything. You put that in, you hook up all the tubes, you have to keep everything sterile. Then you hook the needles up into me, and then what happens is the machine pulls blood out, runs it through the filter, and then puts it back in. And while it's doing that, it's also removing fluid. So there's like a waste line that goes into a drain, which is basically pee. It's like the waste from my kidneys, and you just run like that. And at the very end, you do what's called a rinse back, where after you're done running the dialysis, when it's finished, you have to run back all of the blood that's still in the machine. So at any given time, I think it's 250 milliliters of my blood is out of my body and being run through the machine. And then once it's all run back, then you take the needles out, and then you're done. You just have to like clean everything up, and I have to keep pressure on the holes in my fistula for about 10 minutes to make sure that they scab over, and then I still have to keep dressings on them for another several hours to keep them safe. Okay, so now that I've got that in, where am I at? Tuesday, the only thing I have, there's 2 things on here that I want to put on here. One is that I have a patron live at 4:30, unless I'm wiped out from it. And then they know that this whole week, this whole month, everything is very high on the list of potential reschedulings. So I think I'll do is I'll take this guy right here. Put it right here, maybe. And then so while it's on, I'm just keeping my arms still, and I'm going to use 2 of these actually. Keeping my arms still and just sitting there, reading or whatever. What is a fistula? It's not a silly question at all, because you hear anal fistula. That's not the kind of fistula I have. So what my fistula is it's an AV fistula. It's arterial venous fistula, I think is what it stands for. What they do is they basically create a super blood vessel in your arm. They connect them so that you have the artery and the vein connected so that you can use them both, and then it's super strong because it has to handle the amount of your, like Jesse did the math. On one of my sessions, the entire amount of my blood was removed from my body and cleaned 10 times over the course of the treatment. So in order to pull that much blood, you need a really strong blood vessel. That's what a fistula does. Some people, you can't build it with their own veins and arteries, so you have to use a graft. I have an actual fistula. Like they were able to get a vein from inside my arm and use that. Gross. How long is a typical dialysis session? How often do you do it? So my prescription is 5 days a week, about 2.5 hours a day. Not counting the setup time. That's just the time on the machine. And so patrons, remember, we're continuing the words of the year situations this week. Was the plan always to do home hemo? Yes. Because I really don't want to go into a center and do it. I want to be able to have control over my schedule. And when you do it in center, you don't always get control over your schedule. Okay, I'm going to use this one for a YouTube video because I think that's kind of nifty. The collections videos. I hope you guys have been enjoying me humiliating myself with all of the shit that I have currently in my room in here. Maybe what I'll do, hold on. This week we're entering into pens. Okay, here we go. Skinamarink, for those of you who love horror, thank you for the recommendation. There we go. That's cute. I like how that came out. That is adorable. How are Jesse and the kids handling me on dialysis? The kids are still, they're like question mark because it hasn't come home yet. Jesse is gaining confidence. You have PKD in your stepmom's family? Yeah. Transplants can only last so long, which is a bummer. But like I know people in the kidney community who get second transplants. So fingers crossed for your family. PKD is a bitch. Which company is managing my dialysis? I am actually not going through one of the big dialysis companies like Freshness or DaVita. I'm going through the hospital, that UC Health. So that's who's managing it. Their home dialysis clinic, which I'm totally fine with because I watched the John Oliver thing on dialysis and it stressed me out real bad. 10 out of 10 do not recommend doing that if you're going to be going on dialysis. All right, so what I'm going to do then also, because the other thing we have happening on Tuesday, allegedly, so there's snow in the forecast, so this may not happen. We were supposed to have our gutters cleaned back in December, but then it was literally scheduled for the day that the big snowstorm hit, so they had to cancel. Well, now we're scheduled again for a day with snow, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to put gutters question mark. We don't have to be here for it, though, so... gutters question mark. And we don't know what time. They're just going to come when they're able to. Okay, do I have any? Oh, I want to put plants on Monday. Check in. Okay, Wednesday, the only thing on my calendar so far is that Sunny has a therapy appointment, but it's telehealth, so I just need to make sure that they are awake to get on it, because that is the way shit tends to happen in this house. So it's actually in the middle of the day, so we'll do it right here. And I want to add a little cutie friend to it. A little cutie patootie. Who is this guy? She gave me a thing with all of their like names on it. It came in the set. Is it an egg roll? No. Sui siumai pork dumpling. This guy. Right here. What time is it at? 1. Definitely need to make sure they're awake because we won't be home in time for that, even if we finish at a good time. All right. I don't know what this nail color is called. I got it done. I've had it before. I got it done at my nail place. If I can remember to look, I'll figure out what it was the next time I go in. Katie, I'm using the permanent pen, but I also just use the regular pen, and they both work fine. So I don't think you need a special pen for that, for these stickers. Ooh, thank you, Dee. I was really worried that I was doing the thing like when you're pregnant and you get your hair cut because you don't have any control over your body, and then you make bad choices, because I've done that. But no, I'm very happy with how this came out. Okay, so Thursday, I have another video. It's trash and recycling day, and I want to put them down because we get both trash and recycling on this week, and since we do every other week. I also have to call Waste Management. That's on my list this week to get a second trash can. Maybe I'll do it. They're going to be closed on Martin Luther King Day, so we'll do it on Wednesday, because coming home and having the live, I want to worry about calling Waste Management, so we'll do it on Wednesday. But I need to get a second trash can, because the one thing we have already learned about dialysis is it creates a large amount of trash, because a lot of these things you only use the one time to keep them, sanitary and sterile. So yeah, I'm not throwing the pee-pee away. The pee-pee goes down the drain, and the sharps go in a sharps container, but the other stuff gets thrown out. Will I get meds during sessions? Yes, I did forget to mention that. So they can actually give them to me before I start dialysis, or they can give them to me during. But the med I have already been given now. Before I start dialysis, I have one I'm being given on a regular basis. It's called heparin. It's a blood thinner, and the reason that they give it to me is so that my blood won't clot in the dialysis process. They don't want it to be, and so the dose, the key is to find the right dosage, because what they don't want is to give it to me and to have my blood, like I'm not taking my aspirin, that I have an aspirin prescription because of a narrowing I have in one of my blood vessels in my brainstem. And because I'm at risk for aneurysm, they give it to me as a precautionary measure. But I can't take it in the morning like I used to. I have to take it at night, because it needs to be somewhat out of my system before I start dialysis, because what they want is for it not to clot in the machine. But then when I'm done with dialysis, they want it to clot so it can form the scab. So it's a balance that they have to strike. Trash plus recycling. I'm just scrolling through comments right now. Sunny is old enough to make it to their own appointments, but because they struggle so hard with their mental health, it can be, and their physical health, it's important to double check on them. Does a nurse or tech come to the house? No. Unless there's something that needs to get done, but generally speaking, no. We're going to be doing it all ourselves, but there is 24-hour really excellent on-call care for both on the nursing side of it and on the machine side of it. So if it's a question having to do that is more of a medical question, then we call our nurse. And if it is more of a machine question, then we call Next Stage, which is the company that makes the machine. But they're not going to send us home until they're confident. They're like, one of the things that we're already working on is going through all of the potential emergency scenarios of things that could potentially happen. I'm going to use this little cooking one right here, because Sunny's got their cooking class on Thursday night. They're going to be making tortellinis, homemade tortellinis, which I'm very excited about. because fucking love me some tortellini. Sunny class. Okay, check in. Plants. And then moving to the next day. I'm just scrolling through comments some more. How do I know how much heparin to take? They have currently have me at 2,000 milligram, 2,000, whatever the measurement is on the needle. 2,000 is what they, we figured it out at the clinic, and they're going to send me home with that. But then I'm going to be going in for monthly multidisciplinary appointments where I talk to the doctor and to the nurses and to the social worker and to the dietitian and to all people. And so every month we're going to be checking on it. And they're showing us what to look for. Like, we could see when I was starting to clot in the machine, you can see where it happens. So it's like they're teaching us like stuff to look for so that we know what to report back to them. Well, I have a test meter. For what? For the heparin or for just in general? We're going to have testing supplies to test the water because we need to make sure that there's no chlorine in it. Because unlike what some people think, injecting yourself with chlorine is not a good idea. And then on Friday, my only appointment currently is therapy. So we'll do this guy. And it's telehealth. I'm going to be doing in-person therapy probably most of the time once I get into the swing of things, but we're doing telehealth while I am on dialysis, so I don't have to worry because it's about 15, 20 minutes from where I live without traffic, and I just don't want to have to worry about that. For people who live in the metro area, I live over by Cherry Creek State Park on the Aurora side of it, and my therapist is located in the DTC. So it is not far, but also not close. What time was it that day? 1, 2, 2. All right, sugging on my squirt. Sugging, ew. Okay, I want to use one of those big stickers that she sent. That's too big. These are way too big. Never mind. We're going to try again. We're going to use one of these stickers to sell it, to have it be the weekend. No. I'm going to use you here for the fun, just to do something fun. Add a couple of little decorations in places. Okay, so Saturday, the only thing on my list so far is to do laundry and sheets, as we do in this house. Got the burps. You're welcome. We'll use this little guy for wash sheets. And I want to do my comforters and stuff too, blankets, as a reminder. Ooh, hi, Courtney, neighbor. Yeah. Yeah, home dialysis. So there's 2 ways you can do it at home. There's the home hemodialysis, which is what I'm doing, or you could do peritoneal, PD. I'm not doing that because PD is both easier. Like, they only have to train for a week, and it's less hard on your body because you're not using, it's not with your blood, you're using it, putting fluid into your abdomen and using your abdominal lining to filter, your peritoneal lining to filter your blood. It's really cool. The problem with that for me is that having the catheter for that makes having pets a lot harder because you're a lot more susceptible to infection because you have a catheter. For me, the only worry about pets is having them in the room when we're actually putting me on or off of the machine. So they can't be in there when we're actually putting the needle in or taking the needle out, but they can be in the room during dialysis. The problem to watch for is the tubing with the cats specifically. So the thought of not being able to sleep in the same room as my pets, which is something that could happen with PD, is not. Plus, my kidneys are so big, the thought of filling my abdomen up with fluid is actually pretty horrifying to me. Check in. Plants. And then so I'm going to put my streams in on Sunday, and then we're going to go back and look at my weekly actions and add those in. We'll use this one. This kit is so fucking adorable. P.S. It is just making me smile on so many levels. So we'll still be doing a live stream next Sunday, but the following Sunday I'm taking the weekend off because it is the weekend before my birthday. And we're going to be going to the melting pot, which I have never been to before. But next weekend stream, keep an eye out. If you're a patron, you'll see a post on Friday. On Instagram, it'll probably go up on Friday or Saturday. And then the regular morning post that I do the day of the stream will also have a section. I'm going to be reacting to your New Year's hot takes. So hot takes around goals and resolutions and wellness culture and New Year, New You and all that shit. Hot takes and how it's in the planner community and how it is in the wider world and all of those things. Give me your spicy opinions on those because we're going to talk about them next week. Okay, so now that we got that in, let's add in some actions. So first and foremost, I'm just going to highlight let's go by side. So Moxie Life. Oh, yeah, I need to put in my check-ins on Sunday, which I did. Look, how many weeks? 2 weeks in a row. I totally brain farted and did not do them the first week. I even wrote it all in and I never did it, but I did them the week before after that. And then I did them this week. So go me. So check-ins. Hot takes are like your spicy opinions, unpopular opinions, shit that you think that other people maybe don't agree with. Like a spicy take in the hot take in the planner community might be that blue ink is the superior ink because so many people love black ink. Oh man, Debbie, I'm sorry. I fucking love oregano. That would make me so sad. Okay, so Moxie Life daily and weekly check-ins. So there's daily and there's weekly check-ins. Plant check-ins. And then what day am I going to do one little word? What day am I going to do one little word? Probably Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday is going to be a one little word day because Wednesday is the day that I don't have as much shit to worry about. So we'll do that. We'll use this little friend here and put her here. And then put one little word, which means that I need to print pictures tomorrow. We'll do pictures. Print pics CVS. Okay. One little word. Okay. For fun and recreation, Friday and Saturday off. Got that here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll add off days to the top just to be a reminder. We'll do a little dumpling thingy, whatever this is, a little situation here. And a little flower here. And we'll put off. Work with a K. Work. Because I'm actually going to do work tomorrow, even though I'm off from dialysis. And trail with Jesse and Layla, that we'll probably do on Saturday. So I'll put walk. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Okay, itchy eye. Okay, work and learning. So I've got the HB90 already on here. And I have 3 things to enter in for like listening things. So we'll put that one here. And then and both of those are just like listening things to the course I'm doing. But I think what I'll put on Friday after I get off of dialysis to actually just do the drills, because it's an art drill. And so I want to just sit and make some art, because that would be nice. Making art is good times. Sometimes it's good times. Sometimes it's not as good of times as I would have hoped, but whatever. Put you here. And where is my dot marker gone? Where can she be? Okay, so lunch with Sunny and then call my sisters, which I still need to do today. So I will see if I can call them. Lunch with Sunny. Yeah, we're going to watch The Last of Us tonight, too. I would have used this one. This, like, little guy right here. This little garlicky friend. Because that is so cute. These are so cute. Okay. And then dialysis training is on here. And then my habits are on here. All of my habits. The no-buy is also on there as well. And then meal planning, I think we're going to try and do on Saturday. So let me see if I've got a good little yummy. If there's one thing I've got, it's a food-related sticker on here somewhere. Yeah, this little dumpling pile. Okay. Decide on grocery day. That I'm just going to put over here. And then I already highlighted the no-buy. Schedule Richard and get my Amazon registry list together now that we have an idea of what we're going to be needing. So Jesse has to schedule Richard. So I will put that on Tuesday to have him do. And I'll just remind him about it because he's going to call him. It's just the contractor who's going to come and open up our wall for the water supply. And then Friday and Saturday, I think. Saturday's job, maybe Friday. We'll put it on Friday for right now, is Amazon registry. The one thing I'm looking for right now for that room is actually lamps, because the lighting during the day is fantastic, but the lighting at night sucks ass. So we need some good lamps in there. The lamp that was in there is a great like decorative lamp, but not good for what we need. So I wound up moving that downstairs. Schedule Richard, Amazon registry. Is that everything? Meal plan. Call Amy and Becca. Most of the items on my list are my actions. I love how this looks, you guys. This is super cute. I want to add something decorative here, though. Something. We'll add this one. This one is hella fun looking. This one with all the little buddies. Yeah, little buddies. That is adorable. This is cute. I really like this. This is like kind of, how does it feel? Airy. Airy. Does that like make sense? Like A-I-R-Y, airy, like light and airy. That's what this kind of feels like to me. Liza, you do not need the zig dot markers. Just draw circles. You're fine. All right, so this is my week. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know we answered a lot of questions about dialysis, but I will do a video kind of going into some more detail about it and how we're kind of coping with it at the end of the month. But in the meantime, I really appreciate you all hanging out with me. It's been a very intense week, and it's going to continue to be intense, but I will keep you in the loop. I will be live next Sunday at the same time. We'll be doing our New Year's hot takes, so keep an eye out for those posts. But until then, make sure you subscribe, like this video, all the things. Have a safe week, especially if you're where it's flooding. We're getting snow this week, allegedly. So just stay safe, stay warm or cool, depending on where you live. And have a good week. I'll see you next time, friends. Peace.